Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the afternoon swing trading floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you beautiful people to love life, live life, and trade it. What's going on, traders from around the world? Legends and legendettes. Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. Oh, man. We have trading royalty in the house. Brad Golson and Brian Sharkey and Brad in the same building. We have three Brads. So Brad, and Brian. What's going on? Charles, how are you? Constantine, how's it going? Daryl, pleasure to have you here. Dave Franklin, thanks for chatting with me yesterday, man. Miss Francois Cease up in Montreal, how are you? Hope you're doing fantastic. Filbert says, hey, Jeremy, what's up, Filbert? Hope you're doing fantastic. George, how are you? Gustavo, Jeff, how's it going? Thanks for being here. Joe Barrett in the building. Joe, long time no see, man. Hope the world's treating you well. Carrie, how's it going? Lauren, Vinny says, what's up, mate? Cheers, bro. Hope life is going fantastic. Avery, how are you? Tim Thurman, Winnie Lee, Chandra, thanks for being here. All right, folks. Well, it looks like I got the link working correctly today. Again, sorry about yesterday. I messed it up. Really about it. I messed it up. So sorry. Jesse says, como estas, man. Size is the prize, swole is the goal. Lily says, hey, Jeremy, what's going on, Lily? All right, boys and girls. Well, just in case you got kids or animals around, let me hide that video so that no one gets scared. And where was that video panel? Give me 6 seconds. I should be able to hide that, but video... Give me about 9 seconds. Trying to figure out how to hide the video panel for the recording. I saw it earlier. Maybe I have to turn the video on. So if I turn the video on, I can hide the video panel, and then I turn the video off. All right, we'll see if that works for the recording. It probably won't. Well, today's going to be busy, boys and girls. It is Tech Giant Tuesday. Here's the list of stocks that we're going to look at. Now, as you likely know, this list is a little bit bigger than normal because obviously it's the open house week. There's a lot of traders want me to look at their stocks. But keep in mind and remember that this show is based off of requests and what the stocks and what traders are interested in trading. So if no one's in it, we're probably not going to look at it. Simple as that. And unless it's on my radar and I'm looking for a specific trade on it as well. But there's a lot on this list. ML says Microsoft is missing. No, sir. Microsoft are right there. So let's get started. Pretty much what we're going to do, as we do every single afternoon, is we're going to look at the broad markets, talk about them. I'm going to drop a Newsom nugget for you, and then we're going to talk about the tech sector. So the SPY had a beautiful gap today, and I cannot remember for the life of me what type of gap it is. Notice this pink line. This is really what I wanted SPY to do. This is what I was hoping would happen. Doesn't appear that it's going to do that. So I'm just going to take that off the list. Let me remind you, on the SPY, if we close above that high wave candle that occurred on Friday, we're going to keep chugging along. Bullish trend. Here we go. And I would love a pullback, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Just simple as that. Very, very nice retest gap today. Here's the 5-minute chart for my day trading fans. And again, it was a retest gap on a lot of time frames. White candle gapping up. There's the retest. There's your morning star reversal at about an hour. No, I'm sorry, about 45 minutes after market open. And there we go. So nice little bounce, nice move on the SPY. What to do from here? I mean, I still don't see any real reason to be bearish. We got a flash crash. And let me, for 70 seconds, talk about what I think is personally going to happen in the market. Big picture for the bears. There's a lot of traders out there who are excited about a bearish market. And they're asking, when's the market going to crash? How big is it going to be? What's going to happen? What is it going to look like? Things like that. My personal opinion on the big picture macro version is we're not going to have a bear market when we get a pullback. Vinny, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. But with social media the way it is, with direct phone access to your broker, with so many people having so much information and intel regarding their stocks, I think we got a glimpse on Monday and Friday with the tech sector, what it's going to be like when the market sells off. And I'm personally thinking we might get a 30% sell-off in a week. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen next week or the week after, but I think that the market pullback that everyone's expecting or wanting is going to happen very fast. Why do I think that? Well, really because yesterday and or Monday, we got a 10% pullback yesterday and Friday on the majority of tech stocks. Amazon, Google, Facebook, Apple, Netflix, they all pulled back like 10% in 2 days. That's massive. And in 1987, the S&P did drop over 30% in 1 day. 1 day. And that was in 1987. Could it happen again? I'm thinking so. Now, I'm not saying that to scare anybody. I'm saying when the market does drop, it's going to be something that's like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. And it's going to happen really quickly. It's going to be back off to the races again. Kind of my thoughts. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know that for sure. But what I can say is I still think we're going to go higher. And I am semi-shocked that we are already look like we're about to take out some of the highs of Friday's candle, especially on the SPY. So here's the cues. And the thing that I wanted to tell you about is if you can find a stock, and I was mentioning this earlier today, and I have a hard time articulating exactly what I mean by this. That's why I haven't written it down anywhere yet. But kind of take this for what you will. One of the things I look for in a very strong stock is I look for something where the broad market has done a certain thing, if you will. What I mean by that is the whole market did a certain sell-off or a certain bullish candle. And I look for the broad market stock like the Qs, broad market stocks like the Qs, and that candle, particularly in one specific day, to get taken out by a different stock quicker than the broad markets. So what I mean by that is, for example, the last time we had a quick flash crash on the Qs, it literally lasted 1 day and we're back off to the races. So in this particular situation, with this drop right here on the Qs, you'll notice that we took out the high of that candle in 3 trading days. So if you could find a stock that either A, didn't drop at all, or B, did drop but has now broken above the high of that quick broad market sell-off candle that it probably also received, that's going to be a really strong stock to trade. And I talked about a few examples today, and since I've chatted about it, let's just go ahead and look at the stock that I'm referring to. This is Royal Caribbean. And nope, I'm sorry, I did it wrong again. I keep doing Royal Caribbean. It was Carnival Cruise Lines. So Carnival Cruise Lines, this is the day that the broad market sold off really, really quickly in May. Do you guys remember that? Had like a 3.5% drop overnight, no reason, just boom, random drop. And then the very next day, bam, Carnival Cruise Line literally closed above or broke the high of that bearish candle 2 days before the broad market did it. So all I'm saying is that shows a lot of strength if you do find a particular stock like that. And we're going to be looking through some of those today, where we can look through specific stocks that are acting a little different than the overall broad market. And that's really kind of what you want. Lita says, haven't the circuit breakers been added since 1987? They have. And I don't, the thing is, even though we might not drop 30% in a day, earlier I mentioned we probably would drop 30% in a few weeks. The circuit breakers being hit is never a bullish thing, I don't feel like. It'll be a phenomenal time for futures traders. I don't know if futures have circuit breakers or not, but I don't think it's going to be a bear market. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm entirely wrong, but I think it's going to be a super quick crash, kind of like the tech bubble, maybe even a little bit faster in 2000. It's going to be a really, really fast move. We probably do hit the circuit breakers, Mr. Roberts. You're absolutely right. So I'm really interested to see exactly what happens in that regard. The interesting broad markets on the Dow made a new all-time high today, the DIA ETF. You had a very, very nice candle. And again, notice the tech sold off, the S&P sold off, but the Dow did not, and the IWM didn't really either. So if you're looking for some strong stocks, look for a tech stock that is doing something different than the Qs, or look for non-tech stocks that haven't really sold off that are pretty strong. And the good news is there are a lot of them in the energy sector and the transportation sector that we're going to be looking at. Obviously, Energy Wednesday is tomorrow, and Transportation Thursday is, well, on Thursday. So how do we take advantage of it? Well, let's go look at some individual trades and see if we can get a trade set up. The first one on here is OLED. This was the first one on the list. Universal Display Corporation. And OLED. So we did get a sell-off Friday. We did get a bearish candle on Monday, but today we're almost already above the high. That's not really that different than the Qs. But what I would say is it appears this trend is pretty bullish. Let me hop over here to a weekly chart just to verify that. Yeah, we're pretty bullish on OLED. I have a friend who works a lot in the commercial producing, I don't know if that's even the right term. He puts on giant concerts for really popular artists. And he buys a lot of stuff from OLED, and I think he's pretty heavily invested in that company as well. It had a very, very bullish gap action. Very nice bullish gap on earnings, right? Bearish candle, gapping up. Had a nice little run, bounced off the moving averages, bounced off the moving averages. And at this point, again, the trend isn't bearish specifically. And by specifically, I mean it's not. Who can tell me what kind of candle this is? Since we're still in learning mode, it's still the open house week. There's a lot of new traders here. What kind of candle is that right there? So if you're ever wondering, Jeremy, what does a bounce look like exactly off of a moving average? You are welcome to take a screenshot of that because that is what it looks like. That is a new white soldier off of the 10 EMA in a bullish trend after a bullish gap. And you already had one bounce. Here was bounce number one in purple. And bounce number two, retesting that 10 EMA with a nice new white soldier. Beautiful. Now, I didn't take that trade, but I can analyze it. Entry would have been here. Stop would have been there. 2 R's would have been right there. And what a great timing to exit that trade, right? You would have exited right there for 2 R's, and you would have felt like a hero. I need a hero. Anyway, so OLED, bottom line is if you're playing it, it looks more bullish than bearish above the high of today's candle. Nice lower shadow, trend is bullish. If you're looking at playing it bullish, get in above the high of today. And based on your time frame, if you're hopping over here to the hourly charts, realistically, stop would probably either go below yesterday's low or below today's low. So either here or here. That would be your initial stop. Entry would be above the high, and then eventually you could take the stop and move it a little bit higher. Risk reward's not amazing for the short-term trade. I won't do anything official on it, but longer term, aka a few months, looks pretty solid. So Apple, can't go a whole day without talking about Apple pretty much ever. One of my favorite stocks. This is a Morningstar reversal pattern. This is occurring off of the 100 simple moving average, and I'm very delighted to see exactly what's going to happen on Apple. Keep in mind that I will be releasing the weekly options newsletter trade setup for everyone in the world today. It is part of the open house, and it is entirely free. Ahmed, what's up, buddy? How's it going? So Apple, you did have a bullish gap and go today. The reason, and we were talking about this earlier this morning, the reason that we gapped up and sold off a little bit was because of the insane bullish sentiment from yesterday, right? That giant, long, lower shadow really was a great, obvious indicator for buying pressure. So the fact that we gapped up today, yes, even though it was a bearish candle, it still was a little bit of a selling pressure from today's gap up. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I would love Apple to not break above today's high tomorrow. Then we can do an official entry. So what I'm saying is I would really like Apple to not break the high of today's candle. So here's the hourly charts. You can kind of see a little bit of a pennant pattern. Now, what if it does break the high? Well, that's fine, but that's just not what I want it to do. I would love if we can gap down a little bit. I'm hoping for an inside day candle. That would be brilliant. Something like this. Bloop. That's what I'm hoping for. Will it happen? Probably not. We probably do break the high, and we probably bounce. This was a phenomenal pullback on Apple, right down to the 100 simple moving average. I did say all of last week. Now, I get it, most of you weren't here last week, but last week I mentioned Apple is a very much buy the rumor, sell the news type of stock. So when they had their development conference, we were in this pennant pattern. It was already overextended. I told everyone, hey, if you have some shares of Apple, either A, get into this covered call, or B, buy some protective puts, because likely this pivot pattern will break down bearish, only because that's how Apple works. It is a very much buy the rumor, sell the news type of stock. It always has been and probably always will be. So anyway, Apple, I'm hoping for an inside day candle tomorrow, and then it breaks out. Let's ride. Otherwise, for traders who are playing Apple, if you're in long, stay long. If you're a credit spread fan, feel free to look for some spreads or put sales or something down in this $135 area or lower. Is it possible that we get a bearish something like this and something like this in the market? Yeah, totally. That's absolutely possible. Is it going to happen? We'll see. The only way I'll know it's going to happen, unfortunately, is I'll trade it bullish, and we'll probably get stopped out around here, and then we'll figure out some new signals, and then we'll probably go bearish. So my goal is, if I do go bullish on some of these tech stocks, and if I lose on them, that's okay, right? Lose small. I missed the timing of the market, and we'll go to something else. But as bullish as this market has been, I just don't see it. Plus, Apple pulled back to the 20 EMA on a weekly chart. It's still a nice little bullish trend. Long is strong on Apple. Next on the list, we have AMD Micro Devices. Melanie's in a swing trade. I forget who else is in a swing trade on AMD. The cute thing about AMD is it's going to be stuck in between these long-term moving averages for a little bit. We did play AMD last Friday for a small gain. This does look like a pretty gnarly double bottom. We haven't really closed below the neckline, above the neckline yet. I'm sorry. I don't have anything short term on AMD. Here's the weekly time frame. It looks more bullish than bearish. It looks like to me like it's just going to kind of keep chopping around a little bit. I would say that if we break above this high, I would like to retest and then buy the dip. Best case scenario on AMD for the bulls, I should say best case, but one of the best case scenarios is we trade back down to the 200 and then you buy it again, right? Buy low, sell high. It's a great strategy. Keep it up. Next on the list, FireEye, ticker symbol FEYE. We've got a few traders in FireEye. And FireEye, interesting lower shadow. 1456. 1456. So I wanted to do this, and this looks a little bit better now. The thing is, FireEye has been struggling on to just break bullish for a while. On a weekly chart, it looks like it's breaking out of this triangle pattern. I agree. I would like to see FireEye trade up higher. I think cybersecurity is a great sector to throw some money in. FireEye fundamentals are pretty rough, though. They're pretty bad. We did have a retest gap with volume. Big deal. Gap action. Right there. It retested. A great bounce with more good volume. Big deal. And now we're just trading sideways. So I'll put it this way. I'm not bearish on FireEye. I don't have any positions on it personally. But for those of you who are looking at playing it, I think bullish is the edge. I like today's inside day candle. In fact, these candles are 1 penny away from having the exact high. If we broke above the high on FireEye, you could have a few trade setups. 1528 by 1450 is one of them, and or 1528 by 1410 would be another one. And that's pretty much it on FireEye. That's all I got. ML Trade says, can you please quickly explain what you mean by an inside day candle? So an inside day candle, very easily, yep. Inside day candle is a candle like this one, in which also like this one, or this one, or this one. They happen a lot. Here's trying to find another one really quick. Well, it doesn't matter. I got 4. Inside day candle is when the entire day's range, open, high, low, and close, is within the high and low of the previous day. That's pretty much it. So that is a pressure building event. When it doesn't decided direction. So when it breaks out, it usually comes with a lot of pressure. Lita's asking about Amazon. Amazon, absolutely on the list. Give me about 7 minutes or so, and we will hop over there to you, Lita. I got you. Yeah, I'm interested in looking at that thing also. So FireEye looks relatively okay. I'm not going to trade it personally, but for those of you who are, looks nice. GIMO, I've been watching this one. I'm just going to delete the lines and move on. It had a really nice bullish gap and go. You had a giant upper shadow. And then the very next candle, ML Trader, do you notice? Inside day candle. So I was like, all right, the pressure is building. I'm excited for the breakout. Let's see if we're going to get in. Womp, womp, womp. So it went down. I didn't trade it bearish. Not saying I couldn't have, but anyway, GIMO, nothing on the list right now. I will keep going on. Next is NETS. I still feel bad that I didn't short this one. I've had 2 opportunities, but it was really hard to short, actually, and there's no options. Volume is kind of light. Bottom line is, it's just a new IPO I've been keeping my eyes on. It's very hard to short, hard to borrow, no options. I'm just going to move on. All right, DFS. What is that? Discover Financial Solutions? Yes, it is. So here's the weekly chart on DFS. I don't remember exactly who requested this one, but what I can say, this is a weekly chart. So again, I'm looking at this. Oh, heavens. That looks bullish. Yeah, I'm gonna have to publish that chart. All right, we got an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Now I'm gonna do this with a different color. We got a retest of the neckline. That in purple. I'm gonna point to this one. We got a good bullish bounce. Good bullish bounce. You got the 100 and 200 simple moving average right there. You had a great pullback. DFS looking strong for the long. DFS looks like an inverted head and shoulders. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And it retested the neckline. The neckline. Also here at the 100, 200 SMA. Tom said you can thank Doug D for that one. All right. Thanks, Denny. Appreciate it, bruh. I like it. Time frame, 4 months minimum. As if I was looking at DFS, that's how I would personally approach it. So I don't think this is like a bill paying trade, meaning, hey, I got to pay some bills before July 1st. Could be, of course. Now I'm going to zoom back into a smaller time frame in just a second. But I want to get that one out there for everyone who's interested in DFS. And again, remember, folks, I'm not trading everything I'm posting out there. There's no way I could if I wanted to. Don't have the money. Unless, Thomas, unless you want to mail me a check. Like you were talking about. I'm just kidding. You can't have the money for everything. You can't be in everything, right? And that's okay. That's totally fine. But down here on the daily chart, you have a lot of white candles in a row, 5 or 6 white candles in a row. I'd like it to pull back some hourly time frame. Nothing dramatically wonderful. I'd probably say if I was looking at playing Discover Financial, I'd probably just let it pull back into the $60, 90, 60, 80 range and kind of buy the dip. Jeff, MTGE. I don't think I'll have time today, my good friend, but I will put it on the list for tomorrow. Tweezer, and I'm just going to jot that down. All right. So next on the list, we have DVAX. DVAX. I keep forgetting how to pronounce this one. What is interesting about this stock? Well, we have a weekly chart. We've got some gaps. We're in a buy low, sell high location. We got a gap on the weekly chart. That's a retest gap. We got a gap on the daily chart. That's a retest gap. We got gaps. We got gaps. Here's the EMAs, and EMAs look nice. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to see how this looks tomorrow. Remember, my trading plan stipulates I have to plan a swing trade 18 hours in advance before I can trade it. It used to be 24 hours. Before it was 36 hours. So I'm going to look for something like this. Boop. Why would I buy there? Very simple. Old resistance, possible new support. Would I or will I know if that trade works? No idea. Could it work? I think the direction's bullish based on my analysis. So really, once you got that, that's about all I know. Really, the only thing you can determine is the direction. You can determine the type of gap. It has already retested once, as you can see, from that retest gap. So let's see if we can do it twice. I like the risk reward. I like that it's a buy low, sell high. Okay, TWLO. TWLO, I have a few traders in this one long term. Long term for them can range, but most traders, the trader I'm thinking of specifically, some traders have January calls, some traders have shares and looking to be in for 6 months or so. It is a buy low, sell high location. I haven't looked at the fundamentals of this company very much. I don't personally know how they make money. I'm not saying it's an amazing long-term investment unless you want to do some research. If you know something about the company, if you know how they make money, it is a good buy low, sell high. It could work really well with a leap or a longer-term call. For example, my buddy who does own January call options, they're not incredulously expensive. You can buy an at the money. Usually when I buy a leap, I buy 1 or 2 strike prices out of the money because you would expect the trade to go in your direction if you're buying the leap. But $26 call you could buy for $340. So that's $340 for one contract. You could also sell puts down here. You could also buy calls. This particular limit buy was set up on that day. So I'm going to leave it alone, that particular stop location, until we break above here, if we do. And if we break above that price, which it looks like we might, then I would take that stop and kind of increase it a little bit for those traders who are in either shares or call options. But looks nice. Next on the list is Marvel, MRVL, and this one was kind of painful in a way. Marvel, both Marvel and Micron. So you'll notice I actually had a swing trade on Marvel. Here's MRVL, and here's what the swing trade looks like. So let me just kind of pull this up for you so you guys can kind of see it. Here's what the swing trade looked like, 1726 by 1658. That trade would have triggered and stopped us out on the same day. However, all the traders who were in the room, we canceled that, to my knowledge, on Friday, about 2 hours after market open, when the stock was way up there. So I had a note back on the 6th of June, says keep open until end of the day Friday. 2 hours into market open, I was like, I don't think this is going to fill. Because remember, Friday just kind of randomly happened. It wasn't like it did it in the morning. It just randomly started sinking like 2 hours after market open. So Friday I was on point. I got lucky. I canceled at a really good time. So I didn't get stopped out on Marvel. But regardless of that point, this is a beautiful retest. And if anyone did get a chance to trade it, I'm very happy for you. Look at this resistance line. This is a Picasso. This is a Picasso of price, a Monet of money. Linderman says it would have triggered Friday and stopped out on Monday. I know, it would have been brutal. This is the Leonardo da Vinci of lines right here. Look at this. Oh my gosh. And then just retested that flawlessly. Marvel looks like a long. Looks like a bull. That would have been a great price to buy. And the ironic thing is on Marvel, I wanted to buy there and have a stop right here. And I was like, nah, it's a little bit too big of a stop. And I just talked myself into a more aggressive trade. And then we went and canceled it, so it doesn't matter. But honestly, folks, if Marvel breaks out above here, I'm going to draw hashtag Mr. Squiggles, what I want it to do. I want it to close above that price, but today is a retest gap, so I want to do this, this, this. Marvel looks good. J-Bones, a.k.a. JB, says, same R for day trading and swing trading. Yep, that works. Linderman said, that's too comical on Marvel. Nice. Nice. All right, Marvel, done. Next on the list, we have Amazon. Amazon. So Amazon, a beautiful new white soldier today. I've been waiting since the 30th of May for exactly what Amazon did on Friday. I wanted it to pull back. I wanted to pull back to the 20, but it pulled back to the 50. I still have a target on Amazon of 1,049.63. I love this new white soldier. For anyone who is interested in spreads, credit spreads, that is, let's go look and see if there's any premium. I don't think that wick is real on TradingView. It might be, but I don't think it is. Let me verify a few other charts. Hold on, give me a second. Because again, I'm all about candles. It's on Thinkorswim. Oh gosh, give me a second. Computer's breaking down. Oh, I can only go back that far? Okay. Yeah, it looks like it occurred on the 1 minute, which means that wick might not be real, but it might be. Does anyone else have it other than Thinkorswim? I got Thinkorswim. I could probably pull up a few others if I needed to. The reason that's important, if it's determining if that wick is real, is it helps us kind of give a determination of where we can put this spread. Either way, it was a good gap today. And just like Apple, I would love the market to not go higher tomorrow. I don't think that's the case. We probably do continue to go up. Today was a new white soldier. DC, so I saw it on Friday afternoon also. All right. Well, let's just say it's real, even though it happened on a 1 minute chart. I don't think it is. 960, not 930. Okay. I was about to say it makes more sense. So this pull down to the 50 is beautiful. Bottom line, it did exactly what we wanted to do. So there's no reason to be scared of it. Let me go look on another chart over here to see if there's any premium for, I don't know, let's look at a July 920, 910, something like that. So the 920 I could sell for $7. The 915 I could buy for maybe $6.50. Oh, that's only okay. I do like it though. Lita says that wick is real. All right, sweet. Well, that's good to know. Low of that wick is 927. So July 920, 915, bull put spread, 65-cent limit. I would only worry about spread if Amazon closes below 930. Put that back to blue. And I'm going to draw two things on Amazon. Two things on Amazon. I'm going to draw this is what I expect to happen. And this means we're in bubble territory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that red. Draw a line here. Sorry, I'm just getting too creative. I shouldn't even be spending this much time on this detail because it's such a busy class, but once my mind gets going. Bubble territory. The reason I'm saying that is because it's, I mean, unbelievable that it would break that high that quickly. I mean, that is just something's going on if we do that. And if we do this, that's healthy. Purple is healthy. Red is, I don't know. Amazon bull put spread below the EMAs. Nice bounce. Woo! All right. Amazon bull put spread, credit spread. Now for my option fans, again, I would really prefer Amazon to rest tomorrow and then break up on Thursday. Thursday could be a really fun day. The challenge with Amazon, and I haven't bought an Amazon option in a while, unless it was a day trade, they're pricey, my friends. They are expensive. Tom says, wouldn't it be better to actually wait until it pulled into the 50 EMA again and sell the credit spread? Definitely can. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great plan, Thomas. I think that's a great plan if it happens. So I'm going to be watching it. Again, this is starting my 18-hour plan. So I'll come back and watch tomorrow. What would have been great, and I posted this on Netflix and a few other tech stocks on Monday. If you guys go back to my videos during the market hours, I said when the market was tanking on a lot of these tech stocks to start selling some puts or credit spreads or whatever then. Because that was the pullback really on Monday. That was the bounce on Monday for the majority of stocks. All right, cool. So Amazon looks long. I don't have an exact option trade, like directional option, because they're so expensive. And if you want to trade it, honestly, above 9, what is that, 86.51? Size is the prize. Micron Technology, beautiful. Beautiful retest, gorgeous in every way, very similar to Micron, to Marvel. You had a really nice retest right there. That was a retest gap. We did, in fact, retest. Yum, yum, yum. Today's a nice high wave candle on Micron Technology. Here's the hourly time frame. So Jesse, I think you're in on this one. Realistically, if we start making higher highs and higher lows on Micron and most tech stocks, it looks good to me. Jesse, if you want to beat me up, it's okay, man. I did have an order, and I canceled my order, dude. I had an entry on Marvel, I'm sorry, on Micron down here, the stop down here. Remember that one? I had that order open, and I was like, man, it's not going to fill, and I canceled it. And that was like, seriously, it was like right here. On Friday, I just canceled it. I was like, you know what? These orders aren't going to fill, and you know. Whatever. Funny, I guess. But anyway, MU, I love today's candle. I love this retest, folks. It looks strong. Earnings is around the corner. So give about 3 weeks, but bull put spreads, put sales, things like that. Derek, I haven't looked that much into the Potcoin system. I haven't looked into it. You can email me links or email it to me or Zane, post it on Slack. Be happy to look at it, though. I've been losing hours of sleep looking at cryptocurrency stuff, man. Baidu, nothing, guys. Baidu, I was hoping it was going to break out of this triangle at some point, and it still hasn't. Baidu is one of my nemesis stocks. If you're trading Baidu, be bullish, just neutrally bullish. What I mean by that is bull put spreads, shares, and doing covered calls, some type of delta neutral strategy where you expect it to go up, but it could take its sweet, sweet time. Baidu, nothing at this point. AMAT. So my buddy Justin Jeffries is in AMAT long, and he experienced this cataclysmic quick sell-off on the tech stocks. But with this pullback to the 50, Justin, with that Chris Hemsworth Hammer of Thor candle off of the 50, looks pretty good. You got real close to your target also. But really, if we start breaking higher, and seriously, folks, and we're going to look at one of the stocks in particular. If there is a tech stock, go ahead and write this down. This is important. If you find a tech stock that is already breaking the high from Friday, go long on that stock. Mitigate your risk. It's bullish. Now, obviously, AMAT has not done that yet. But if you can find one that has, look to go long. AMAT looks good. Texas Instruments. So really, the majority of what we're getting, the majority of the market is Morningstar reversals. Today's candle looks pretty bullish. If we go higher tomorrow and or Thursday, the trend would likely continue. Find one that you like the most. Here's Texas Instruments. Oh, this made me so happy. I love it when I see traders on Twitter buying at the all-time highs. Not all-time highs, but at big resistance. I had this guy who I really don't like that much on Twitter. I follow him just to make sure I'm better than he is. Sounds terrible. I know. Anyway, whatever. So here's the resistance on Texas Instruments. This is guys. This is the tech bubble resistance on Texas Instruments. Tech bubble resistance, and he posted something and was mentioning how bullish he was on Texas Instruments. True story, right here on Friday. And I was just thinking, oh, I don't know, bro. 4 bullish candles in a row, closing above that huge 2000 resistance. Someone's going to sell. Anyway, big sell-off on TXN. So at this point, it's a strong blue chip stock. I don't have any position on Texas Instruments. If you do, however, this would be an amazing place to consider some covered calls. I think my buddy Ray's got some. Let me just look at what kind of premium we're dealing with. Looking at a 90, maybe a little bit longer, maybe not quite as long as October. July 28th, no premium. What about 88? No premium. It's not bad. You could get maybe 30 cents for an 88 covered call before earnings, but I'd probably leave it alone. I thought there'd be more premium there. Unless you want to go all the way out till October, you can get some solid gains in October. October, you could get 90 cents for a 90 covered call, which is $10 higher than where it is now, which would be another 10% equity if you got exercise and called away. All right, Texas Instruments done. Oh, snap. I need to start putting on the quick juice. Facebook. Ron has a 146 put sale July week 1. I really thought about doing a bear call spread. I keep thinking about it, but I'm not going to. Here's the truth on Facebook. It's at an all-time high resistance. The trend is very bullish. It had a bullish retest gap right there. It has retested. If it keeps trading sideways and at some point breaks above, again, this 153 price range, it's going to go long. This is one of the tech stocks I'm least bullish on right now, only because it's at a rock solid resistance at 153.38 and risk reward's not that great. Keep in mind, if you do play tech stock out there, don't go bullish on everything tech, right? Make sure it's a little spread out, because if the tech market does roll over, you don't want to have 5 tech positions, right, for them to all lose. So just something to keep in mind. Next on the list, BlackBerry, BBRY. BlackBerry, again, hanging out at a really good resistance. I would love for this to close below this candle being the May 22nd candle, and kind of form that double top. Is that going to happen? Probably not. I'm having to kind of secede to what appears to be a pretty nice bullish breakout on BlackBerry. It's out of resistance. It had a nice triangle. Let it trade sideways a little longer, but if you start seeing some bullish signals on BlackBerry, technically, like based on the technical charts, it has all the reason in the world, once it starts making some higher highs, to keep cooking with oil. Otherwise, if it does roll over, it is BlackBerry. The fundamentals are terrible, and I shouldn't say terrible, but anyway, it's one of the stocks I think should be at 0, and it's not. Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT. Microsoft weekly chart looks strong. Jay, I've already covered AMD, my good brother. Thankfully, it's in the recording, though, if you missed it. So Microsoft bouncing off the 50. I forget who was looking at Microsoft yesterday, but this one was really screaming. And I honestly, if you're here, whoever it was who called Microsoft off the 50, congrats. I didn't get a chance to play that one personally. So don't think, oh, Jeremy made $1 million on Microsoft. I did not. It was a phenomenal bounce off the 50. So there was a trader yesterday when we were in Mentorship Monday all day. You can probably hear it on the recording. Some trader was like, hey, I'm buying a lot of Microsoft off the 50. And I looked at it and I was like, hey, dude, looks pretty solid. Strong trend. I don't have any position on Microsoft. If I were playing Microsoft, a lot of tech entries would have been today. It was a nice little gap. Premiums are kind of slow. Bull put spread premiums are pretty slow. Trend is bullish. Stay long if you're in long. Thomas is getting jealous. Whoever had a plan to buy off the 50 EMA, winky face. Dude, that plan worked so well. Last 2 or 3 days, it's unreal. Nintendo NT DOY. Lita, absolutely. I will go look at Seagate for you in a second. Nintendo had a great bounce, and TJ, I think you were the one that requested Nintendo way back when. I've actually looked at Nintendo a few times. If you have any kids and or you just want to see how my analysis was on a stock that I very, very rarely look at, let me pull up my Pokemon Go analysis. And let me see if this pulls up. Pokemon Go analysis, real life trading. Let me see if that works, or maybe it was called something else. Shoot, how do I find this thing? I don't even remember what I called it. Nintendo analysis, real life trading. Oh, Balderdash. I'm gonna have to check it out. Jesse said that was epic. I will say this: it was an amazing. It was some good analysis. Shoot, what did I call that thing? Pokemon Go in real life? Now I'm on a mission. I might go a little bit long today, so if I did, I'm sorry. You're stealing my taglines, you lovely animals, you. All right, let me bring this over here. I don't want you guys to see the back end of my YouTube. You guys, your heads will start hurting. Okay. Give me about 60 more seconds max. If I can't find it, I'll find it later today. And if anyone does find it, let me know. And I might be spelling Pokemon wrong. Pokemon Go in the stock market. That was the name of it? Really, Jeremy? That's the best you could come up with? And it really didn't have that many views either. All right, so let me do this. I'm going to post it in the chat pane. Just in case you want to watch the analysis, I'm going to zoom forward really quick. So the analysis was, don't buy here. Wait for it to come back to 24-ish and then buy. And then hold for a while because it's going to go higher. That was pretty much the analysis. So let me do this. I'm going to send this one to Ashley really quick. Okay, so Nintendo, bottom line, bounced off of 24. It was very nice. If you're in Nintendo bullish, stay long. Trend is good. And if you're not, you have a really good resistance around 38. Look to buy the dip. If Bob's son Jonah is watching, congrats, Jonah. He did buy Nintendo around March. And this is one that I talked about a lot, you can imagine, for Kids Month back in March. So every kid that asked about Nintendo, don't know, I doubt anyone did buy, but maybe someone out there in the world did. I told as many kids as I could, hey, if you like playing Pokemon Go, you like playing Nintendo, you know how they make money, you like their product, buy Nintendo right now. So anyway, up massive since then. Looking pretty. AVGO, almost played this one as a day trade the other day. Would have lost an R had I did, though. AVGO had a really strong gap. Again, it looks a lot like the normal tech stocks right now. Entry would be here, stop above here. The challenge is, as I mentioned earlier, folks, all tech stocks almost look the exact same. So you can really only kind of pick one or two. And if you're going to trade a third one or something, trade one that looks a little bit different than the other ones. And I think there's 2 or 3 that I can point out today, hopefully. Yelp might be one. I think Yelp looks a little bit different. Yelp, yes, it does. It does look different. What's the high of today's candle? 31.03. So I wanted it to close above 30.99. How to play Yelp, because I think this is going to be the official setup. What's the high of this? Okay, looks good. All moving averages are going to say no because it's a buy low, sell high. Is this trade going to work? You know, I do not know, but I think we're going to have to try it. There's only one way to see oftentimes. It looks a lot different, right? Would you guys agree? It doesn't look like most tech stocks, so how about it? This is going to be a stop limits. 31.14 stop limit buy order. Here we go. Yelp bull swing. Buy low, sell high. Looks like a retest gap. Okay, YELP. And that would be with shares. We'll publish that one. I'll put that one in the journal. And I got 10 minutes left. Okay, I think I can do this. Now again, usually we don't have this many stocks on the list, but sometimes we do. 6/13, 2017, YELP, entry 3114, and stop 2905. And just as a reminder, if anyone here thinks that this is a really cool worksheet, everyone who is a subscriber to the Real Life Trading Room will get access to the worksheet. All right, cool. So there's Yelp. That is live and in charge, and we'll set that up after the close of the market, at least me personally. SSYS. I had a put sale on SSYS. I bought it to close. I like today's, again, Morningstar reversal. Today's a new white soldier candle. Yesterday was bearish. It's a tech thing. Most tech stocks are doing that. Here's 3D printing, DDD. And DDD, I did a put sale earlier today at $17. This is a bullish strategy. This simply means that I sold a naked put, and I do not mind owning shares at 17. It would not be something that would be scary to me. So if 3D printing closes below 17, I'd be potentially put some shares of stock more than likely. And if it does not close below 17, then make some premium, potentially approximately $210 minus commission. So 3D printing and SSYS look a little bit more bullish than bearish. So that was the put sale that I went with for the month. Momo, still looking okay. This one also didn't sell off as hard. Bob is a big fan of Momo. I love Momo if it can pull back down to the 100. This stock has been such a great trade, really good trend. It's been moving so beautifully. Look at this gap and go right here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want a gap and go to put on your wall, this is the one. This is such a good bullish gap because you had a small gap, it gapped right above all that resistance, trapping everybody getting trapped. Small candle, day trade, swing trade, longer term, gorgeous. Throw that one on your charts, print it out, Momo, gap and go on earnings in March, flawless city. If it pulls back down to 100, it looks viable. AMBA. AMBA is also at a buy low, sell high location. Check out this weekly chart. Now, again, keep in mind, folks, I'm going to say this all week long. I do not expect you to be in everything. Probably one person is requesting each one of these stocks. So one person might care about this. One person might care about this. One person might care about that, so on and so forth. I'm not trading all of these. I don't expect you to trade all of these. There would be no reason for you to trade all of them. Find the one that you like, the one that you requested, the one that you're interested in, the one that you fit your trading plan with, and play that one. AMBA, beautiful candle. I hope, oh man, I hope it closes like that this week. Granted, there's 3 days left, but if it does, that will be an easy setup for next week on AMBA. Hashtag buy low, sell high. All right, Tuesday, I'm going to put that on the list, AMBA. Next on this, IBM. We might go about 3 or 4 minutes long today. IBM, what did I want on IBM to do? Oh, it's retesting. Oh, nice. So IBM is another tech stock that has not done what the other tech stocks have done. I'm not personally going to trade IBM, but I do want you to know it's a little bit different. It looks a little bit unique. Double bottom is ugly, real ugly, which is kind of why I like it. And we did not close above the gap on Monday. A little concerning. So if you're looking at playing IBM bullish, I would simply have an entry right above the high of today. And depending on your stop would be depending on your time frame. Is it a trade or is it an investment? Investment, probably be down here. You want an own IBM, probably do a stop down here or a protective put maybe. And if you're looking at paying the bills with IBM, right, car payments coming up and you're trying to make $320, here's the hourly chart. And you probably take it above there with the stop about 153.39. Next on the list is ticker symbol DY. What's DY up to? Diacom. DY also looks a little bit interesting, not super telecommunications. Thomas, the DY I had planned on May 26th on my trade log, 80.75 bull put spread, but I guess I didn't set it for good to cancel because it expired before the 531 dip, unfortunately. Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, 80.75 bull put spread would have been really nice. I've done that a few times, not setting it as a good till cancel. Good news is you might be able to play that again if you want to play a credit spread or just look for DY to pull back some more. It did pull right down to that 100 on a weekly. And I know we've never bounced there before, and it would have been just a total shot in the dark for you to kind of go long off of that. But your analysis, my man, spot on. It's okay that you missed it. There'll be another opportunity. High five, my friend. High five. Still looks long, though, but not short term, like a 5-month minimum type of bullish trade. This gap on DY probably does fill. All right, SWIR. What stock is this? I do not know. Sierra Wireless. Sierra Wireless. I don't look at this stock very often. What's the weekly chart doing? We broke out. Okay. Giant double bottom. Got it. Let's see. Daily time frame. A lot of volatility on Sierra Wireless. Whoever requested this one, I would trade it like this. Resistance right here. Let it break above. Buy that dip and play it long. I think the trend is bullish. The direction is bullish. Candles are bullish. Volume is bullish. Everything looks good for the bulls. It just kind of depends on your timing and your entry on that one. If anyone has anything else specific on it, feel free to let me know. Juniper, JNPR, Juniper Networks. Juniper Networks also bouncing off the 100. I'm sensing this one looks more neutral, though. Would you guys agree? If you're looking at a weekly chart, it is bullish to neutral, like it is making higher lows, but over the last 5 years. So all I'm getting at is this is the weekly chart. It's not screaming bullish by any means. Could be a great opportunity for credit spreads or put sales or share ownership and doing some covered calls on Juniper Network. It is at the 100. You do have a nice morning star. Like most tech stocks, it looks really bullish. But just on the longer term scale, the neutrality of the stock in general would make me lean more towards a bullish to neutral strategy on it. Netflix, good Googa Mooga. I love Netflix. I love the fact that it looks a little bit different than most tech stocks. I want to go bullish above the high. I'll give you a hint. This is probably going to make the weekly options newsletter. I like the high wave candle. I'm interested to see if it breaks above the high. I posted yesterday afternoon on Netflix. There's a few traders in some credit spreads for July and some in August. Way the heck down here. There was a lot of volatility yesterday on Netflix. I'm interested to see if it's going to bounce off of it. So don't worry. I'll probably more than likely be sending you a Netflix setup for your weekly options newsletter. Activision Blizzard, ticker symbol ATVI. Activision, very nice new white soldier candle. Another tech stock, looks pretty similar. It's a new white soldier, bounce off the 10. Be bullish. It's again, the market's not going to make this easy, folks. So keep that in mind. Remember, use your skills. Today is a bullish candle. If we gap up tomorrow on Activision, or really any tech stock, should you go bullish tomorrow at open? Heavens no. Why would anyone on earth do that? It will sell. The question is just how far. It would 100% sell off. I don't know if it would happen for a minute or a day, a day or an hour. But we'll do something like this. So if you're looking at swing trading, more or less any tech stock, if it gaps up tomorrow, give it a few minutes, let it sell off, and then buy into weakness, sell into strength. Mr. Steven Jackson, let me throw Whole Foods on the list for you tomorrow, my brother, and we will check it out. Snapchat, believe it or not, looks a little different than the broad markets as well. So Snapchat looks really nice. I can't argue that. Snapchat's going to have to be a bullish setup as well. I'll place it tomorrow if everything looks okay on Snapchat. Next, we got Wynn, W-Y-N-N, Wynn Resorts. And here's all I got on Wynn, ladies and gentlemen. Today was a really nice gap on the daily chart. It gapped above the high of yesterday. I have two more stocks I want to look at, actually. Seagate, Trelita, and then Tesla. So I might be 2 or 3 minutes long. Here's the weekly chart. Here's the only thing you need to know on WIN. Had a phenomenal breakout. We all talked about it. Beautiful pennant pattern. It broke above the 200 simple. It retested. It's going to continue to bounce. Best case scenario for WIN, it keeps trading sideways another week and then breaks out. If you're looking at trading WIN bullish, looks like the direction to me. If it makes some higher highs, buy the dip on WIN as it looks strong. So that's WIN. Lita, you're asking about Seagate Technology, ticker symbol STX. So my buddy Brad has a put sale expiring this Friday on Seagate. Lita says, I'm looking at buying Seagate before Monday, ex-dividend to collect 63 dividends and selling a covered call at Monday for Friday for week 3. I figure this should bring another 40 cents. I think the stock is stagnant, slightly bearish, and bullet been squeezing. I would love an option. I agree with you. I like it. Today's a new white soldier. We're on the 10 EMA. The 200 simple moving average. We had a very strong bearish gap and go on earnings, and we have not gone lower really since then. It is trading very sideways, and today is a new white soldier candle. So if we really start moving higher, Lita, I like that opinion. Seagate's a fun stock to trade, and it's stuck in between the long-term moving averages on a weekly chart. Ultimately, I would love it to pull back down to 37, and I'm going to have some traders doing some put sales below there, at that location. But until that comes, buying the bounce off the 200, being a little bit more neutral with the bullish with a covered call, I like that plan a lot. Joel says Las Vegas Sands and WIN seem to mirror each other. Yes, they do, my friend. Both in the exact same industry, and yeah, a lot of mirroring going on there. And last but not least for today is Tesla. Folks, Tesla, huge deal. It's about to already break above the high of Friday's candle. If it does that, look to go long. This is a retest gap, but a strong one because it gapped above that wick. I'm thinking tomorrow we gap up, trade down, and then we start bouncing. Look to play Tesla long, especially if we break the high from Friday. Just use all of your other skills, right? If we gap up big tomorrow, which we are up already pre-market a little bit, $1.45, we gap up, look to play the retest of that gap into that pre-market all-time high. And folks, Tesla is just getting started. We might see this thing 500 by the end of the year. I've already won the wager on Tesla back in April. I mentioned it would hit 375 before the end of the year. Looks like I undershot myself. This thing could get to the 500 before then. It's breaking out of a distribution phase. The one thing I do not want anyone to do on Tesla is go bearish. Buy the dip, be long, and be strong. All right. That is Tech Giant Tuesday in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this was beneficial. Let's go ahead and talk about what we're looking at tomorrow. Tomorrow being Energy Wednesday. DCS wants to look at H&R Block, so we can put H&R Block on the list. MIK, I'm going to put Trivago, Macy's, and Zoe's because I need to review some of those swing trades that we're in. Altria, DE, ECA.TO, Verizon, General Electric, HDS, US Steel, ATH, El Pollo Loco, Shake Shack, Office Depot, NDRM, AXTA, SM, MTGE, DVAX again, Whole Foods for Steven, Snapchat, LNG, First Solar, CHK, ETP, GILD, CTL, WDC, ExxonMobil, and British Petroleum, T-Mobile, TSO, YEXT. You guys are just throwing these in here. I like it. USO, RFD. All right. Looks like tomorrow is going to be an energetic Wednesday. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you 23 hours from this very moment in time. And until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. Ladies and gentlemen, you're amazing. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.